Hey YouTube, Breakup Brad here. Have you ever heard of my covert jealousy technique? Well, if not, it's a sneaky tactic that allows you to safely make your ex a bit jealous, helping to change their mind about breaking up and take you back. So if that's something that sounds appealing to you, keep watching and you'll learn more about how to use this powerful and effective technique yourself. Now, I need to begin this video by issuing a bit of a warning here. While it is absolutely true that jealousy can be a very useful tool to get a second chance with your ex, it can also go horribly wrong if you execute this technique improperly or without really knowing what you're doing. So before you go out and start using this technique on your ex, be sure to watch my full free tutorial video at breakupbrad.com. And in that video, you'll learn more about the key fundamental principles of winning back your ex, as well as more on how to use jealousy safely without having it backfire on you. Now, you might think that you already know how jealousy would help, make your ex want to take you back. Maybe it's as simple as going and dating somebody new, right? Well, wrong, actually. That's just part of my covert jealousy technique. Because, as I mentioned here, subtlety is critical. And that's where the covert part comes in. And there's also more than one way to make your ex jealous beyond just dating somebody new. So what are the keys to using covert jealousy properly? Well, number one is to employ a period of no contact. Yeah, I know you don't want to hear me explain how the 30-day no contact rule works again, but please understand that it is very important to use no contact as part of a bigger plan to make your ex jealous. In fact, not only does no contact help incite jealousy in your ex by itself, but it also makes the other aspects of covert jealousy more effective. You really need to shock your ex into experiencing what life is like when you're completely gone, for starters. And by completely shutting down all communication for a month or so after breaking up, you also set the stage for using the covert jealousy technique. And key number two is to get out there and start living your best life. Now, this is something that a lot of people tend to overlook when it comes to making your ex jealous, but it's also very important. Your ex isn't expecting you to really thrive in the weeks and months immediately after breaking up. In fact, they're probably expecting you to lie around the house feeling sorry for yourself. And that's why you need to do the exact opposite and get out there and live life to the fullest. So what does this mean, practically speaking? Well, it means, going out and being as social as possible. It means making new friends, reconnecting with old friends, and joining a club or taking up a new hobby. It also means, going to the gym and getting fit. It means kicking ass at work or at school, achieving your goals and really thriving in life generally. And key number three is to go on dates and or hang out with members of the opposite sex. Now, as I said previously, this is only part of the covert jealousy method, but it's still a very important component. Now, I do realize that you probably don't feel like going on a date with somebody new right now, but you need to put yourself out there and start dating again as soon as humanly possible, regardless of whether you think it's actually going to lead anywhere in the long term. So, create a Tinder profile, put yourself out there on dating sites, pick up a new hobby where you're likely to meet members of the opposite sex. It doesn't really matter how, just go on some dates and have a good time. Again, it's not important whether you really feel a connection with whomever you're seeing casually, it's just going out and doing it that really matters. In fact, you can even just hang out with friends of the opposite sex, and that can even have the same effect. The more you date, the more that your ex is going to think, hey, I used to date this really high quality individual. Why on earth did I dump him or her in the first place? So go out on as many dates as you can. And I'm not saying here that you should sleep with the entire world, but make it known that you're highly sought after and that members of the opposite sex want you. In the dating world, this is what we call pre-selection. Being wanted is just generally desirable to the opposite sex, so mingle and flirt your heart out. All right, and key number four is to leverage social media to communicate things to your ex. Yeah, it's no secret here, your ex is going to visit your Facebook profile no matter what. Unless your relationship ended so poorly that he or she has blocked you, you should have absolutely no problem making your ex jealous using social media. So, post pictures of you doing really fun things that your ex wouldn't expect you to be doing at this point. You could post pictures like yourself snowboarding, bungee jumping, or even just playing the guitar. Remember to take some pictures of whatever fun social stuff you're doing and show your ex that you're popular and that you have a bustling social life. And just like I mentioned earlier, take pictures of yourself with attractive members of the opposite sex to show that you're high value. Basically, do everything that you can to convey to the world that you love life and that you're happy being single. Now, there's one important caveat to this strategy, and that is that you need to be subtle and not make your underlying intentions obvious to your ex. And that means that you don't want to post things that are totally out of character for yourself. So, if you've never been the type to be very active on social media in the past, and you've typically only ever posted, a photo on Instagram once a year, then don't suddenly start posting one every day now. Instead, maybe start, posting once or twice a month, making sure that you're being subtle about what and how you make the post. Just remember that you really want to convey the message here to your ex in an under-the-radar manner that doesn't make it obvious that you're actually doing so purely to send him or her a message. And key number 5 is to use mutual friends to your advantage. So if you and your ex share any mutual friends, then you can definitely use those friends as a way to communicate things to your ex. So tell your mutual friend about all the crazy adventures you've been going on, tell them about all the people you've been dating, and definitely tell them about all the people that are chasing after you. And once you tell your mutual friends about all these positive experiences, chances are they're gonna, tattletale and run to your ex and tell him or her about the news. People love to gossip, as you know, so you might as well make use of that. Now look, I know to a lot of you this might sound like manipulation, and maybe you feel fake and disingenuous doing this kind of stuff, but if you're subtle and careful about it, then it is a very effective way to make your ex jealous and get them interested in you again. Now, as I mentioned, be sure that you're not doing this too obviously or being too overt in doing this kind of thing, because you don't want to set off any alarm bells in your ex's mind and let them know that you're actively doing it just to try to win them back. And key number 6 is to create mystery and curiosity when you're talking to your ex. Now, this is perhaps one of the most effective parts of the covert jealousy tactic, and it's also one of the least dangerous or least likely to backfire on you. So, by casually dropping a seemingly innate reference to a new friend that you're hanging out with, without giving too much detail or any further explanation, you can make your ex really wonder what you've been up to and what they're missing out on. Now, one of my favorite examples of this is something you can do actually over text message. So for example, let's just say that you left your favorite sweater at your ex's house and you need to pick it up from them. So when you arrange to pick it up from their house, in a text message, you might say something like this in the text. Hey, I'm taking a friend to the new Avengers movie tonight at that theater by your house. Could I drop by to pick up my sweater on the way? And you can also achieve the same effect if you're meeting with your ex and chatting with them in person as well. And one way to do that would be to tell an interesting or funny story about something that you've done since breaking up and include a reference to a new friend during the story. So for example, you could say, I went scuba diving last week with my friend Tom, and on our second dive we saw an entire school of dolphins. Now, don't go into any more detail about who Tom is or what your relationship with him or her is. Just drop that reference in a natural way during the course of the conversation and leave it at that. Now, when you do this effectively, you're going to leave your ex wondering to themselves who this new person is and what your relationship with him or her really is. And regardless of the truth, they're going to assume the worst and their mind is going to be going crazy with wonder. Now, guys, if you're struggling to think of a way to do this safely, or if you just want some help crafting a plan to use covert jealousy on your ex, I'm happy to learn about the details of your breakup and offer my ongoing guidance as the situation unfolds. All you need to do is visit breakupbrad.com/coaching and register for my one-on-one coaching service, and we'll get started today on coming up with a plan to get your ex back into your arms as quickly as possible. Again, to see my current coaching availability and to sign up today, just visit breakupbrad.com/coaching. Okay, and I think I will leave it here for this video. Leave your questions and your feedback in the comments below the video. And please also hit that subscribe button to show your support if you found this video or any of my free advice videos here on YouTube helpful. And don't forget to click that bell icon too to get notified when I release my next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye for now.